think about
None of them believed me.
There'll be an extra fee for that.
Exactly.
There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them. Take it easy.
Huh? Our names are written in the... Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy, but that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? So while the journalist Charlotte... Charlotte took so much... She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the... seriously? Well... Paimon's hungry. Should we go in and get something to eat? Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last time we tried it, despite the 10...
One slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur...
Wait, did he really say...
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my...
Then what if someone told...
But why would it close?
Well...
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No. Still, even if there'd be no more cake tomorrow, that wouldn't keep me from having some today. No. It's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so today, then you should carry on. That's what people call living, you know.
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake to go? These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what you...
Oh, you know Sijuin?
I sure do. She said that I've got something else to do, so I'll...
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. I'm unsure this cake... It's more delicious than... Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious... We're near the Steambird office. Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon!
Ha! You've got some nerve!
Oh, you needn't worry. It's all right, though.
Really?
You're...
Oh, Paimon!
Still, what brings...
When Mona mentioned...
So she mentioned...
She said that you're... Huh?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was...
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh.
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! Ooh, so much...
Wait, Charlotte. Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If...
That's the if you're... From what I've seen, so in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping it. Just think about it. If this nation... And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that... I'm not a dreamer, but anyway...
That's... So... Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking... If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow... No, Paimon should ask... We've always been moving to the next You mean... still traveling? Huh. Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay. But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure. It's not only damp there, but salty too.
Ah, so the two of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the Palais...
Yes, I'm Isadora. Not at all. Yes,
A riot?
well, that said, Lady Farina was watching a loudly accusing her of doing, and before she could the crowd continued.
So people have...
I agree.
So what happened after that?
Seeing that the situation, the Marechaussee Phantom...
So...
That's right. That said, I don't think there's good.
Don't worry, this is...
Is that so? Well,
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know... And as we all... When Nervalet was... It would be hard... Paimon thinks... Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis. In that case, there's no... This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible. That's Farina, right over there.
What was meant to happen did happen after all. I'm sorry. Give up, Farina. I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to... Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. Farina, you were...
What do you mean, tear stain? Who did that they even... Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the marsh shall say...
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are... That's against...
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up with her! This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here.
What? Oh,
Hurry, they're almost here.
fine, I suppose... I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm.
Yep, that...
What's happening?
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nouvellette's made some
Yeah, but the people of...
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything, but all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way. Give up. I do indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times. Fate is really unreal. But just now, it all became clear to me. As long as the final moment hasn't come, don't worry.
Well, that's enough for now. Don't take any...
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you...
Share my
That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be... A witness. Yes, I've heard. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage...
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado...
So, this is what it is. Do not forget, however, that...
May I interpret these words as your refusal? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through...
You would draw your blade... I see. It seems like you have made...
Paimon can't believe it.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a
Wow. How odd.
Lady Farina.
It would seem that there has been a...
Looking for
I raised my hands just now. I will admit. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to... You are not the only ones to be disappointed. But now, I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world this time. Applaud and reach. Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine!
Woohoo! Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is
All right, then. Who will be...
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question, just how much work did you do to...
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward.
Navia,
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members. The people's resent, moreover, according to our So, we arranged...
So, you mean...
And their goal,
That's right.
as the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson was an Archon. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we couldn't... Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. We had to select a
So, in other words...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can get you gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, all so that...
Yes, that is...
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for... As for you, Traveler, you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once... Oh? It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this...
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received from...
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Oh, let Paimon see. So in other words, we can refer to this, and let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Arc. This is the first of the fortress of the... According to Monsieur, I nearly lost my awesome... The words of someone as extraordinary...
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come, just fast forward. Of course, it is only natural.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your Instead, I would like to charge you...
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to...
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine...
Yeah,
Even though Lady Farina can be rather...
Yeah, I
have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon See? Even if you wish to...
An argument with near impossible odds, huh?
Well, and if I...
First of all, you may be a member of another...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave?
A curse. I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally, but in light of this claim...
Neverlet sensed it too, huh?
Lady Farina... Well...
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if, besides, for centuries, one need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you...
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decision...
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current while the court is in session, the principles of you will prove your... That was no...
So, you neither knew why Chan instead of having...
The real Hydro Archon. It is true that I did not know why the but the Oratrice handed out that... You can't...
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's
my power as an Archon.
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend...
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons thus did...
Yeah. No.
Seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. I'm still pleased.
If what the prosecutor...
Did she deceive...
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if you...
Wow. That doesn't sound right. It has been
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can...
Miss Navia, please apply to serve it.
Super sorry. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. So, if we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the... Oh, and I must remind... I do hope you'll act prudently.
Navia from the... If Lady Farina...
Lady Farina.
Well, of course, yeah. She's just...
What's going on?
Due to the inherent...
Hey! I'm fine! Look at me, will you...
Miss Siegewing, if you...
Siege?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take...
Please announce the result.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina, she was experiencing...
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady...
Oh, wait. What did...
Well, considering your... However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual... We don't want anyone...
Yeah, so it's a great...
Listen to me! Listen to me, everyone! Think about it! Also... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me! I swear, I really am your...
I don't think anything she...
With all the things that have been said, Paimon does...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway me. She's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of Arcana Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty. We shall now turn to the According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique...
Well, what's wrong? What's the...
No.
Isn't that correct?
However, the exact wording of the to be punished via the death sentence.
That's actually one of the available sentences.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given to...
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness...
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Vacher wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial...
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was all but now. The Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title...
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Huh, you finally made it. I assume this means you've completed...
Mm-hmm. Any...
Is that the... Huh. So the knave prime...
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took... But has the trial already concluded? Then...
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing...
Huh? So what do you see?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do...
Huh? So when you say Hydro Archon, do you...
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they...
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the... The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine... Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. The second stone slate shows... This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by... That reminds Paimon, didn't we? Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea. We We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident...
We know from... and the
That doesn't...
perhaps wouldn't... and... It's not as simple when the...
That doesn't...
The prophecy for the...
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson, and the eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meripede was the surest sign that the stone slate's contents can all be verified by recent events. Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now, but then it feels like...
Let's hear them.
Incredible.
We're...
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as the evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater. And and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celeste. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty.
The Hydro Archon's true sin.
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the...
Yeah, isn't the image here just like... So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into this... In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it isn't... However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, when we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative. I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontanians and the sin of in the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the seven, did not possess not one to give in. She eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted. Of course, The Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race, and thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into...
So you...
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to... Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontaine.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, a key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the... They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depict... The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to do... Therefore, the meaning of that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying, in truth, everything we've done has happened
What should we do?
The prophecy will be fulfilled.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also...
Traveler, I would like to point out another small... About the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Mer... However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could... As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered... This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must...
It was both dream...
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the pipe.
The truth, the original sin.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well what that whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the star. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with...
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontaine. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of...
We just barely managed to push it back, right?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying... From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to...
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could still survive.
We've already done everything we can, and we've come so far. You can't just tell me that—
Indeed, that's not how a grand performance
I'll fight it to the end.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future. Just as prophecies are... Ultimately, fate shall serve as...
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina.
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor? Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be— One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. She knew full well that the prophecy would end as one of the seven. She also knew full well that one defies the heavens. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing I had to outwit the heavenly principles. Allow the prophecy to be... I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's...
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity, and the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress, to play under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no strong. I cannot begin.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, it's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. I am Focalor, the eyes of countless... Dear audience, The performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
My apologies.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards! Whirling snow!
Farina.
Huh?
Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you? Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you. Wait a moment. You're... mirror me? Mirror you, huh? You know... Mirror me? The prophecy. What prophecy? Wait. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Oh. What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything. Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. But doesn't that mean everyone will die? Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance. I will tell you how to save everyone, but... Oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frighten. As for the suffering, well, but if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side, and my pain on the other. You truly... I suppose this would also be the... Huh? Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play... Play as... a god? That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed... But how will I do this? A human assuming the role... Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would remember. Your true challenge will not be I'm still not sure I understand, but... So, how long... To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure it, but I promise you, all will eventually end. A trial, huh? How exciting.
Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession. But this is my first, what should I say, to most of... Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to... I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of... In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my... As the god Focalor, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead... Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully,
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses human...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a right? Mirmi said that I just need to calm down, Farina. Think. What? Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. Oh, very good, my peep. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership. Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut. Now then, let us be...
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera?
Personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful. Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that no, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of it. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. There is no trouble in this world that just so long as I, the
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for you.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to.
If I may be so impertinent.
A magnificent
That's true, I fear I lack the ability to...
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for...
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of all right. Deoteria, is it?
You remembered me. He is doing much better now. In fact, he is...
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate.
You're such a gen...
Lady Farina,
Here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of...
I see. It's as I thought, then. As your god, I did already expect this. All manner of signs indicate that...
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine research...
Really? Have they found any...
I'm afraid that they haven't found it...
Oh, is that so? The day is finally over. But it's good to see that everything's getting... Maybe this is fine. I just... All right.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases.
There'll be no need.
Lady Farina, I've waited...
Indeed, my dear...
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. I don't think I let anything slip today. I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Farina, it's... I've heard that the first... Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the water.
No wonder.
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. I never imagined. Have I reached my limit? I want to tell someone, anyone, about I've conducted so many investigations across the city. All I can do is keep heart.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden, although I don't know.
Share my that's impossible.
But even if you're just share it with me.
A witness. And if to... He's right. I could, but if things don't play out as expected... No, Farina. But what if... Farina, you've worked so hard. Is it such if you let this up? Think about it. Long and hard. No, I have. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to wit...
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the...
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine, it seems that trusting human...
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine?
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes. Alas, your understanding of this... In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy my work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnity, but really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was... The vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the... But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia, and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But...
Oh, what? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the face you make.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception... Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they... Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly... I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and, in other words, existence was Egypt, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall... At this point, we, whether it be myself, Iudex Nervillet, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign,
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that at last... I now understand the true purpose behind them. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. but these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding. You are a devious one, Focalors. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Ex Nouvellette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Wherever in the...
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a few...
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened...
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast. I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to we should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice, the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy. Come with me, traveler. The hour of
But how are we going
to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together.
Take flight!
I can feel the sorrow turning into hostility.
Take flight!
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. A chance will present itself. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Things are about to get dicey.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but it was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point.
That power.
Paimon has an idea. From what it's just that he gave us the impression that she was less.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all, so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk?
The point be-
Well, being that this pet, so what sort of person is your master? Well, child's master.
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, his name is Sertologi.
I am unfamiliar.
Huh. So master is insufficiently famous.
The foul?
Still nothing? Well...
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhine-Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom.
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those, but I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhine-Daughter.
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary person? Paimon?
Actually, never mind that. I believe that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to... As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over...
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain. weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Hey! Help! Over here!
All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry!
Hey, lend a hand!
Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you alright? We're saved.
The prophecy was wrong.
The soil renewed. The spirit in old soil can still give birth to skyship. The various people always. Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The value for these big scoops lies in Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a...
Paimon's curious.
And that's exactly...
Are you?
Oh, this time...
Oh, it's you.
Hey, we're just...
I'm here to update my...
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snezhevich. Our residents are...
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. But if you don't...
I get where you're coming from.
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the...
Huh?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions?
Forget it. I'm sure you...
Oh, I see you're...
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake...
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, get...
How did it go? Was it a good...
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence. Also, not to brag. Wow.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the fortress.
Whoa, you're well informed.
That's a...
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was... I told him that it was best not to speak too soon.
You're right.
Stay safe now. And tell...
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to this place.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head nurse recommended to me.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for
No need to thank.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way. It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear.
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it.
No, I just...
Now, I might not look it, but I at the boat that brought... Still, if I might ask, where...
Looks like Charlotte's...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our...
Really? Well, then in that case, could I...
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps...
Did you really have to use... Well, then, 2 solo...
Is my hair messed up?
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new...
Ah, Siege...
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Sure. Come on, Miss Siegewayne. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the fortress?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship.
That's why I decided to...
You're too kind.
I see.
He sure did what...
I'll tell them that there's...
Oh.
What change can there be? As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory. All right. Last stop.
There's a pleasant breeze and glorious sunshine. So, where shall we go for a walk?
Off we go!
Paimon sees them! They really are here!
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with...
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget?
It's a wondrous bag that can be...
Trick a friend.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you...
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have...
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to...
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Para.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey...
Lynette, could you come...
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of... Father says that you did...
That's alright.
Oh, like after Lady...
A diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as they... Furthermore, Father did also lend...
That's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking...
I would agree, but I've also heard that...
So there's some...
I suspect you'll have to ask him about...
But back to the topic.
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run...
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too.
Are you going to take the gnosis?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision?
And that's a wrap for me. Huh?
Greetings, Miss Journalist. That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my work.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled...
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon.
You two move things about?
That's right. Funny. I guess this must be... All right, then.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte, huh? Should we go... You really are here, Neverland. I didn't think you were going to...
Really? Oh, in any case, you came at a good time.
All right, let's have...
It is strange.
Whoa. So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored transforming you in... But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontanians from...
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions, but so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood. After the fact, in other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans, and thus...
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro...
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider. As for the judgment passed by the Oratree, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he...
Guess Focalor had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that the... hang on a second. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they...
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to...
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, seems like...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina...
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me. Before leaving, I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was... Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house. Not unlike how
but she's still got a place to stay!
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burden.
What about you then? What are your plans now?
After Focalor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to... This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the...
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, a manner of... As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost... Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon was... Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay?
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I...
Wow. This ancient...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given...
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed... Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem the Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not... As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary...
What complicated considerations? Paimon thought you were just...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about... As far as I'm aware, Natlan can...
A nation of dragons?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave that I believe the harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring.
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude toward... We guessed that there might be some reason for it that...
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the... So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting... In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You heard...
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer I can finally catch the scent of your... It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not know what you...
You should have the remains of the third descent...
Remains?
Well,
that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis, but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Fowl, ever since I was young. And it is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to regardless, you should... To live in itself is a blessing.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my... personal thoughts. And my reason for no longer wishing to return to the...
This third descender you refer to.
Master never mentioned them. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure...
Next time, you believe...
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not.
The remains of... So that's what the gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces.
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the...
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at... I guess that you might already... That means that the gnosis, which are exceedingly element compatible and can... I wonder...
Like being able to use elemental powers. No, let's not think about this stuff right now. Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once child recovers, let's get some more
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information...
Alright.
Yes.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way, and what ultimately is the difference?
Ad Astra. Thank you for Ad Astra.